Good morning, students. So today we will study business messages, which is a part of the 5th module of your syllabus. Okay. So those who are in the field of business, they write business messages. Okay. For conveying different purposes. So there are a lot of things involved in business, and that is why communication is a way to run it in full swing. So the content of the message is in many types according to the reason or situation and purpose, right? So business messages can be any wish or whatever it is. It requires a format and a status that every person related to business long for. Okay. Now, what are the channels of business messages, or what are the mediums through which business messages are sent? So the most convenient way to reach out to people is by sending business messages through texts or letters. Yes. So it is always not possible to meet persons face to face, right? So business messages help in maintaining proper relationships. It also serves as an evidence, right? Then it also creates and maintains goodwill. Okay, both. It both creates and as well as it maintains also. Understood? So the channels of business messages or the mediums through which business messages can be sent are letters or memos or business emails or business fax. Understood? Now, remember one thing, business messages are always formal, right? And these are inexpensive as well. It does not cost a lot, right? So here are some tips which you should keep in mind while preparing a business message. So at first you have to plan the message. Understood? Then you have to think about the purpose, the audience, the medium, right? So at first you have to maintain professionalism in your language, right? And the message should also be short and direct. It should be precise. And always prepare your message keeping in mind your target audience. If your audience is your boss or your manager, the message will be of one sort. If your audience is common people, then the message will be different. The tone will be different. The language will be different. Understood? Now, there are two types of business messages. The first one is positive messages and the second one is negative messages. So, what are positive messages? So, positive messages include messages where the audience is expected to react in a positive manner, right? So positive messages tend to consist of routine or good news. These messages might be items such as congratulations or confirmations, then direction, then simple credit requests or credit approvals, right? So any business message which is sent or written down to convey a positive business message is known as a positive message. Understood? So these messages are written or exchanged between two parties which are engaged in a business venture or any business related deal, right? And in positive messages, we often use terms like with great pleasure, or we are glad to inform you, or it is my pleasure, right? Understood? So what is a positive message, or what are the characteristics of positive message? So here are some examples of positive messages. Like they can be letter of appreciation or thanksgiving, or it can be an expression of interest. Understood? Sympathy is also included under positive messages. Now, negative messages. So, what are they? So, negative messages are also called indirect messages. Understood? So, it includes rejection in response to job application or promotion request or negative evaluations and even announcements of policy changes that do not benefit the reader. Understood? So, very similar to life, very similar to human life. Our workplace is not also a bowl of cherries, right? Sometimes things do not go according to our plan. And at that time, a person's job is to communicate about the problem, but in a way that does not ruin your relationship with customer or staffs. Okay, so whenever you are doing damage control, any kind of damage control, bad news messages require care and skill. Why? Because your main point should meet resistance. Yes, so always try to use one tactful as well as indirect approach when writing a negative message. You should not hurt anybody, but your result should be positive, right? So keep in mind this advice whenever you are required to deliver any unwelcome news, right? So these are few examples of negative messages like customer feedback, employment messages, then organizational news, opportunity to resolve business problems, right? Letters of disapproval, then routine business matters. Understood? So these are the two types of business messages, the positive messages and the negative messages. And while writing both the negative and positive messages, you should be tactful. There should be skill in your writing. You should use a proper tone and proper language. And always keep in mind the target audience. Understood? So thank you for today.